The topic for today is before you say I do. Christianity and marriage has become something that it's quite embarrassing for me as a Christian and a counselor. Many marriages are ending in divorce. I always say that I know a marriage, they married for just 2 weeks and they were in the divorce court. They were Christians. The wedding came with so much pomp and pageantry. But in 2 weeks, they were divorcing. So today we are going to delve deep into some matters. And I want you to stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Don't flip, because you are going to learn something. The man on my set today say it as it is. He doesn't beat about the bush, but there's something I love about him. He's a man, but he's a feminist. He loves women and champions women's cause. So today, if you're a woman, stay glued. If you're a man, stay glued. If you're a woman and you're doing the wrong thing, he will tell you. If you are a man and you are doing the wrong thing, he will talk about it. So, Reverend Dr. D.Y. Donkor, welcome. Welcome to the Glam show.
Thank you, Mommy.
I want us to open the show by, I just saw something on Facebook about Minister Osinachi. Okay. Very wonderful minstrel of God. She sings and heaven comes down. And I was going through Facebook and I saw that she was living in an abusive marriage. She has been quiet about it. Her counselor has come out to talk. That she warned the counselor not to say anything, because she was afraid of the stigma, what people would say. And I heard, according to the Facebook or the social media reports, that the husband kicked her in the chest. And she's been on life support for 5 days, and she died yesterday. As a Christian, as a counselor, I want us to talk briefly, or let's delve deep into it a bit. How can Christian marriages get to that point where we become so abusive towards each other? Some of us go through emotional abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse. Should we stay in these marriages even after, encountering beating, not just one time, constant beatings? Should we stay because God hates divorce?
Mommy, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this opportunity. Before I start, I want to address few issues here and there.
That's right.
The first thing I want us to understand is that marriage doesn't care you are a Christian. Let's be real. Marriage doesn't care. There are some people in our churches, they think that since and once you're a Christian, you have an upper hand, a better chance of enjoying, your marital life than an unbeliever. I really want people in the church to understand that the challenges we go through as Christians, the other people on the other side, whether a pagan, an unbeliever, whoever, they are going through the same thing. So number one, marriage does not care you are a Christian. Number two, marriage does not respect your religion. Let's understand that. So the fact that you are a Muslim, you are a Christian, you are an Hindu, or you are an occultist, it doesn't change anything when it comes to the challenges we go through in marriages, the hard times we go through in marriages, whatever it is. So we should understand. Once we understand this, we will know what marriage is all about. Now there are some people who believe that once they can pray in tongues, and once they are prayerful, see, your talent and your gift does not mean that you can have a better marriage.
Your talent and
your
your gift
does not mean you can have a better marriage.
Okay.
And that is why there can be men who are anointed by God, yet in terms of marriage, they are failing. They can beat their wives. They can take their husbands for granted, yet gifted and talent. It is different, a gift is different from bearing fruits.
Okay.
You can be gifted by God. By bearing fruit is your responsibility. We are getting it. Now, I wrote something here, Mommy, I want to share with you. And I want to share with our viewers. Very important. Being a Christian does not give us any advantage in marriage.
Okay.
That is number one. Now, according to family law 2019, they say that most divorced, marriages, 73% are Christians.
Oh my God.
Now listen, Mommy, please. I intentionally wrote this down because of this program. And I want to say it again. Being a Christian does not give us any advantage in marriage. They wrote and said, according to the family law 2019 to 2020, among divorcees or divorced or marriages that are divorced, 73% are Christians.
God.
20% are Muslims. And 1% Hindus.
Wow. So why are Christian marriages failing?
Mommy, I'm coming. Would you tell me, within the course of the week, how many weddings goes on in the church?
Wow, a lot.
Muslims, few. Most of the time, they even get married and we don't know anything about
it. Yeah.
Hindus. How many times have you attended a wedding and they go like, what are you Hindu for? Hindu for me, they are getting married. Mommy, 73% from the church, the divorce rate. Look at us. So then I come back to my first point and I'm saying that marriage does not respect your religion. And that is why people in the church today can be born again, but wrong, rotten character.
So it means we are pretending.
Mommy, what must affect us for change? That is the baptism of the Holy Spirit. The Spirit of the Lord is grieved because of our sin, our weakness of the flesh, and how we relate with God. Your relationship with God is not that good. Our prayer life is limited. Our holy life, our walk with God is limited. So it doesn't give the Spirit of God the upper hand to help us subdue the flesh.
The flesh, okay.
And so most often you see people in the church who can even be men of God, and their wives will tell you how many times they are beaten.
Beating your wife as a pastor?
Most wives are abused. Now, look at this powerful, glorious, anointed, gifted musician. Mommy, look at her. When they stand in the public and they are singing, and in fact, you don't know how to sing, you wish you can tap into their
that
grace.
That's right.
In other words, also, don't accept their proposal by rushing. Take your time to know people. You may not be able to know them probably 100% right.
That's right.
But at least give yourself the opportunity to know people a little bit before you say yes.
Man of God, let me cut you in briefly.
Okay, Mommy.
You know, some people can pretend and pretend well.
Mommy, people cannot pretend and pretend well, so I'll explain why.
Okay.
The problem with most of our people is that they pretend not to see.
Okay, so we think we are in love, so...
See, once we are in love, we pretend as, we go like we are blind. So like I have seen Mommy lie, I have seen her do few things here and there, but once I feel like I don't want to lose her, let me overlook it. Love overlooks, forgive mistakes. But you need to understand that the very thing you don't address today is the very thing you battle with tomorrow.
Okay.
And so most of the people, they see the mistakes and the weakness and the shortcomings of their whoever they want to get into marriage with. But most of them pretend like, hey, nobody is perfect. But you need to understand that even though you are not going to marry a perfect person, you must look at yourself who you are going to marry, because who you marry determines where you land yourself.
That's right. That's very, very true.
Mommy, I'm telling you, so she's anointed, gifted, but the husband is killing her. And she's looking at herself, going like, if I divorce, what is the society going to say? The church, and the problem of the church is this: we are too religious. In fact, we are not born again. We are not Christians. We are too religious that we look into matters and then we conclude and we pass judgment. So when people don't want to be judged, they pretend they are okay, yet they are dying
inside. Oh my God.
So the problem with the woman is that she should have come out and said, my husband born me, I am being abused by my husband. I can't sit and die. You see, what you do for God is more important than what your husband do to you. Please, think it right.
What you do for God
is more important than what your husband does to you.
Wow, this is deep.
So you need to understand that God has entrusted into your life talents, gifts that must be used in the church. And you need to understand also that when you get to heaven, God will let you give an account to whatever He entrusted into your hands. Number two, the same way when you marry, you are accountable to your marriage. But you need to understand that if you fall into the wrong hands, this man can take you to hell or heaven.
Okay.
Whoever you marry will determine whether you go to hell or heaven. So therefore, if the person is not making it right, for you to be able to have the right standing with God, you need to work out.
Even in the marriage or before you get into the marriage?
No, whether before or after. Especially when they are abusing you. Or bawasum. Or do attempt. Now attempt most often they threaten you. They go like
so,
Dakubabu.
Hey.
Dakume kumbi dronyame. Yeah. What do you mean, brother Kumye? Obey proud. See, when people talk like this, you need to understand.
You don't take it for granted.
Me, walk out.
Okay.
But here we are, we go to some of our pastors and some of our so-called counselors, and they will tell you that, for better, for worse. And they quote scriptures without thinking of the scriptures, without helping the spirit to reveal scriptures to them. And so they make us feel that, look, obey, and then you see the husband kill the wife.
So, man of God, in the courtship or in the relationship or in the friendship, because I believe friendship give birth to courtship and then you get into your marriage. Yes, the pomp and pageantry that come, this person did this, this person did that. The other time they said that the Nkra Pie owner did something. Recently it was Jones Bond 2022. So we should really, rise above that. Or should we get to the point of saying that this person, DY Donkor did this wedding, I want to outdo him. So we ignore red flags.
Mommy, we cannot ignore red flags.
That's what we do because we want to have a wedding.
Mommy, but we need to understand that comparison is the thief of joy.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Thief of joy.
Okay.
Now, the problem is if you try to overlook the red flags and then you enter into marriage, you need to understand that because you did comparison right from the beginning, you will end up not enjoying yourself in the marriage.
Okay.
So let's go back. Now, if I am courting you, or we are dating, or we are in courtship, and then I find out, or I realize that there's something fishy about you, there is something I am not sure of, I need to pay attention to it. Now, the problem with our Christian brothers and sisters is that, mommy, even when we know and we have seen, and then somebody has probably prompted us or has told, we pretend as if, no, I'm in love. For 2 years, 3 years, where do I start from again?
Where do I start from?
But if you cannot break up with the 2 years, you cannot survive with him or her 2 years in the marriage. Because see, whatever people cannot overcome once courting you, they are not able to overcome when they are in marriage. It becomes worse. So we come back to the red flags. For example, if I'm dating you and I find out that you are a habitual liar, I need to work out. Because somebody who lies right from courtship is somebody who
will lie more.
Mommy, if people see, because courtship level, sometimes I don't want to lose you. I am scared of losing you. I am afraid I will lose you. So I try to balance myself in such a way that even if I'm a liar, I will change to suit you. So therefore, if I am not changing at all, whilst courting you, who told you that when I put a ring on your finger, I will change?
Okay.
It is hard to change in marriage, but it is easier to change.
I want you to say that again because people don't understand that.
Mommy,
people
don't change like that. You see, when I even marry you, most often I become more familiar with you.
That's true.
I mean, your ways, how you do things, including your nakedness. And so, like, once I'm familiar with you, so when people cannot change whilst you are courting them, I'm sorry to tell you once again that they will not change. Don't ever take that risk. He will change. She will, especially the men, the women. They go like, oh, he will change. He will change. Listen. I'm praying.
No worry, Nasisano.
See, he will. Even so, even the book of Neza, Unyamisa sound. The only baby, Yami, with Timothy, what prayer cannot do and what God cannot do
does not exist.
Listen. Imagine you are praying for somebody for change and yet the person remains the same, not changing. It frustrates your prayer.
That's true.
So at the point, then you tell yourself that, let me stop praying. Because if I am praying and they are not changing, why should I keep praying again? Mommy, let's come back. There's something I really want to talk about. Let's come back. Number one, before I say I do, before you enter into marriage, during the courtship, the first thing every man, every woman must do before you enter into courtship, mommy, not marriage, before you enter into courtship, the first thing every young man, every young woman listening to me must do, number one, change the unchangeable.
Change the unchangeable.
Change your character and your attitude. Work on yourself. If there is any habits in your life, deal with it. It is either you deal with it or it deals with you. It betrays you or it keeps you in. So the first thing you do, even before as a young man, I propose to a young woman, is to work on my habits. If I'm a lazy man, I need to work on myself. If I have a problem with anger, uncontrolled anger, you need to deal with it. Because see, if you are going to marry somebody's daughter, you need to understand that she's not perfect. You are either not perfect. And then something triggers your anger. We were here when an American pastor shot the wife.
Yes.
A pastor, a man of God, a general overseer of a church. And I Obama is gone. The guy is still alive. Even if in prison, he's still alive. What we are saying is that number one, please, if you're a gentleman, if the lady you are courting is not changing from any habits, walk out. When we say walk out, you are telling us how many years you have been. Are you Jesus? You are telling us how many years you have dated him or her. And so therefore you feel like you've invested a lot. Time, communication, resources, money, whatever. Listen. Your love heart is important than how much you are putting into a relationship in terms of money.
That's right.
So don't give out your love to a cheap person, somebody who does not value you.
Wait on that. Don't give your love. Paul says, love your wife and the wife submit. Love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself up. If you are in your home, husband and wife, and armed robber come and the gun is on you, choose between you and your wife. Everybody that has gone through my hands, I ask this question. And some will tell you, well, Makofo Biba, so I'm responsible for the person. So let me go, because Christ gave himself up. Even if they are lying, they say that. But one couple came to me, and the guy was like, do I know? Where do I know her from? Why should they kill me instead of her? And when I told the lady that this guy is not for you, she got angry, stopped the church and left with the guy. Yes. And they went to marry. That marriage didn't get anywhere. They divorced. And I was like, if only we could tell the truth, they will not even listen, because everybody wants to wear 2 rings. The ladies, we put some value on marriage and feel that if you are married, there's some prestige. I am Mrs. Lamptey and you are Miss something. Me was so sin because I have these 2 rings. How can we tell this to the church that marriage is not a prestige? It's just an opportunity that you came by. And it's not everybody in marriage that is even enjoying. Some are enduring. How can we do this? How can we tell the church this?
All right, my mother. Let me start from saying this. We have few role models in our churches. And even some churches, we don't have role models at all.
As in marriage?
Yeah, marriage couples. And so, for example, the youth should have been able to look to this particular man and the wife and say that, yes, you see a person, yes, a papa, but we don't have them. Why? Because many of the marriages are failing. 1 year make us a role model. And even the ones they have in the church is halfway collapsed.
Jesus.
So if we are looking at role models, why? And the Rebecca said, this one can be a role model. Number 1. Number 2, the people we must look up to as an example, where are they? Most of them are faking. They are pretending. They are hypocrites. So who are we looking up to? Because see, the next generation coming, most of them will not only come to you and ask questions. What we saw, what we see, the things we saw Jesus do are things we testify about. So most of them start afar off and they look, they watch, they gaze. And once they are looking, they are focused, they want to see how it goes. And at the point they see that, they say, why? Who is in the church that we can look up and say that we're waiting for 40 years? Even those who are married for 40 years, most of them are just enduring the marriage.
Yes.
And so what happens is that even those enduring too, when they come and they are telling us what marriage is all about, mommy, they don't tell us the truth. They go like, praise the Lord, hallelujah. I have been married for 40 years. And listen, when I die and I come back, I will still marry my baby. I love you. So the church look at that, they go like, oh my God, my God. Wow.
This is nice.
I mean, Shalom married for 40 years, and the love is still sweet and nice. But me and that day, some of them are not in good times. For 1 month, they are not talking. How can you marry somebody, live in the house with a
1
person,
month,
and for 1 week, 2 weeks, you are not in good terms with them, and yet you can pray? The Bible says that even when a wife is not treated well, the prayer of the man can be an abomination. Let's see.
Yes.
We are playing with things. And we think that, you see, you can go to hell because of your marital life. We shouldn't joke.
You can go to hell
because of your marriage life.
But there is no marriage in heaven as well.
Because, see, who you marry can determine how frustrated you become. Or how frustrated you become. If you marry the right man, thank God. Because you can marry somebody and your spiritual life will go to the dream.
So should you marry somebody you love or somebody you can live with?
Okay, so you marry somebody you have one purpose with.
Okay.
Now, when God created Adam, God created Eve out of the man. He looked to the woman and said, this is a woman. The bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh. This shall be called a woman. Number one, why did God create the woman from the man? So that the woman will stand and defend, become a helper, and also make sure that the man fulfills his vision. I'm coming. Now, but the man can have a girlfriend, thinking with, reasoning with. So, mommy, let's come back. For me, if you want to settle down with somebody, the first thing you need to look out for is the purpose of God for your life. Okay. And for looking at yourself, you know, trying to understand the purpose of God for your life, you look at the woman and say, can I see her
in my future? In
my future, in my purpose. Can I see her in my dreams? If I am not seeing her in my future, no, don't go there. So marriage is not about who she becomes now, who he becomes now. Marriage is about who they become.
It could break walls. You know, and he took money from me and he didn't want to pay the money back. It became bloody before he paid the money. Now, easy, sir. I really got my money from him. So I was like, most young women, we see people praying, the men praying, the women praying. But there are some red flags, womanizers. You see, you saw it before getting into it, that this person, this lady you are dating, she can lie for Africa, but you want to date the person, you want to marry because she has something on her that you think attracts you sexually. Should it be about sexually only, or we should look beyond and see red flags and avert them or run away?
Mommy, when I started, I said something. I said, don't marry gifts. Don't go for gifts. And that is why a lot of gospel musicians, especially most of the women, most of the men went after them. And then
it became a problem.
And it's a problem now. So like they went for the gifts. They later ended up knowing that either Obanishman or Berman or Nwadishman has betrayed him. Because you see, when you
motive or the coy.
Motive not the coin or told you and I say, once the lady is able to get to the lamplight, I will also be there. Or let me make money from
out
the
of
gift.
It, yeah.
So both parties, you know, probably most of them go there because of the gift. That is what I'm saying. A man can preach good, can sing well, can usher well. In fact, can even walk with the head pastor of the church. But you see, walking with the head pastor doesn't change who you are. Who you are is affected by your relationship with God.
Yes.
And Tina will be to be sorry them but drum, but no a crom for. Let's talk about it. Will be to be tranquil, but no girlfriends too in the church. And that is why the other day Paul got angry, entered into the church and said, there is this guy who's puffed up with pride. And you people are here celebrating him, sleeping with his own father's, you know, wife. And you people are doing nothing. Look, I'm sending this letter to you. Tell the guy I'm coming. Me Paul, when I enter trouble, because these things should not even be accepted by pagans.
Yes.
Now, so the problem of the church is that most of the young ladies are looking at this gifted guy without thinking of who he is, the character. So gift is quite different from character. So number one, go for somebody who has a gift, but also has the character. Oh, my senior pastor told me one day, Reverend Rex told him, may so rest in peace. He said something, he said, Dan, I prefer people they don't operate in any gift or talent, but they are loyal, faithful. I prefer. From your babe. And sometimes they make you feel so bad that if you don't see them, it's like they will die.
Yeah.
Suddenly, after they have their way out in your life, after sex, let me be real. I'll say, I low battery. I was at a meeting. Sometimes you send WhatsApp message or a text message through SMS and about 8 o'clock, and the guy will come back and reply you and I do 12. And sometimes they overlook it, pretend, and then these are excuses. Now what we said is, when we started, you were doing the same work. When you started, you had not, changed your location. Baby, when we started, you were crying, begging me to chase you, come to your house, look.
Encourage them not to have sex with these men before marriage.
Mommy, we will encourage them. I don't want to even quote scriptures. I said that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, and the Bible says that those who fornicate will go to hell. And in the book of life, the Bible says that, and we shall all appear before the judgment seat of Christ. I don't want to quote in the scripture, but let's be real. Let's understand that if you don't know a man can only take you for granted after sex.
A man can only take you for granted after sex.
Mommy, this is the truth. If you don't know a man, just give him your nakedness. And then you know who you are dealing with. Because most men can pretend to love you. It is right after your nakedness, then they tell you who they are and what they came to do. In fact, their mission in your life.
A couple came to me for counseling. The man was like, Mama, when you are buying a car, you test drive. How would I know this is what I want to be with for the rest of my life?
When you are buying a car,
you test drive.
You test drive. When you are buying
a car,
mommy,
they will tell you
a
car.
Thank you.
They will tell you that some men have specific things they want, that they want to be with.
Okay.
We are talking about sex, so let me use certain languages that maybe it's not TV worthy, but I'll use.
If you don't use, I will use. I'm sorry.
Some men want big clits.
Okay.
Some men want small. Some men want some particular, and you are not allowing me to get what I want and what I'm saying. So for
small little me ba, mommy. Young son or bapa. I happen a word in a bobra. And you're baking a small clit as him.
so for why do
Well, we are collecting this about getting your juma. Two by what it clits and other what they are doing. Over what is by another what you see. We are taking marriage for granted.
It's true.
Maybe probably to soon, but said when you are banning young son of them. Think about it. We probably yes, Salam, but Wabanu, when you answer. You know, when you look at physical, appearance and features, you can be deceived into marriage. And marriage and love is more than physical appearance, mommy. Why? Because if you married me by appearance and something happened, minya stroke, minya car accident, bibi yamia. If you came because of my appearance, bibi yami. What is the guarantee?
You were attracted to.
Mommy.
Maybe the woman, you want a slim woman, and then she has children. She has had children. Yes, now.
They say the funabam. They say funabam. So what do you do with that?
Okay.
Then you go like, my wife doesn't look attractive anymore.
Yes.
My woman doesn't look the same. One day they say,
men don't have that mindset.
you better have it. Because you see, marriage is a journey of the unexpected.
So before you go into it, have all this at the back of your mind.
Strategically position yourself, not just spiritually, but in the physical. Have that mentality that anything
can
is possible.
happen.
Why? Because sometimes most of the men may be doing good financially, but our DFV, some of them.
I was going to ask that.
Mommy, anything is possible. Whether Obana and Alabama, right? She got pregnant, did abortion. Abortion for year 4. But after
the children are not coming.
Who caused her? Anything is possible in marriage.
But also he made her, undergo those abortions.
Yeah.
But he will go out there and get somebody pregnant.
God will judge you. How can you let a woman go through that pain, that abortion period, and now you are married, it is not coming and you want to blame it? Instead of taking it to the hospital, let's go see what we can do to, settle the issue amicably, solve the problem. What there be? We say, what they are. Many people papa to me for say, men papa or to me, to me, I'm not culture, still you are but what you say, look, you are not wise. In fact, the word is you are unwise. You are not a serious man, mommy. So, mommy, for me, we should look beyond physical things. We need to understand that marriage is not just the physical. The physical is the wedding and the occasion and the ceremony. But marriage is more spiritual.
But we draw so much on the physical than
it's because we are very carnal.
Okay, so let's see the second thing I want us to talk about. You said red flags like no respect.
Yes, mommy. I mean, mommy, how can I... Mommy, you've known me for some years.
Yeah.
I've known... Imagine I don't respect you. I am not sure I would be sitting here.
Yeah.
Because once I take you for granted, it is a sign that I don't respect you at all. Imagine, mommy, I'm sorry, please, viewers. Imagine, mommy, you open your door, and then you take me as a son, as a brother, as a friend. And I decided that I decided that I have the opportunity. And because of this opportunity, I want to abuse that right by using some words on you. For example, like, mommy, 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 you're going to say Jimmy, oh, mommy, mommy, just, oh, you're tough one. It's because you have given me the opportunity. When you are dealing with a man, a woman in marriage, and because of the opportunity they have, the access to your nakedness, and they start abusing you by taking for granted, using some words on you, please, you are dead. Nobody wants to be taken for granted, even if they are poor.
Women, I want you to hear this. If a man is disrespecting you, if a man does not really give you respect, please run away from that man, because it will get worse in marriage.
The truth is that he's trying to tell you that already I don't respect you.
Yeah.
Therefore, if I take you to the altar, it will be the same or worse. And when somebody doesn't respect you, mommy, they insult you. When somebody doesn't respect you, they abuse you. The reason why a man can look at the wife and say, Sabi, I'm sorry, I shouldn't use it, but insults. Jimmy Niba, watching you. You are such a useless woman. I cursed the day I met you. In fact, I should have been, I don't know. I should have married Teresa. Somebody else girl, Nakawe number. Me am soon at the Kayamentie, and my what were baffled to sell. And then, after some time, like a week, when the issue is settled in a way, when the emotions of the woman is not, arranged well, the man goes to Abuano.
Yeah.
And I want to go
you
and
want
have
to go and
sex.
have sex
Ma'am,
with that
think
same
about it.
person.
If I respect you, I can't even insult you.
Yeah.
Even though I don't understand something, and then probably I'm angry, I should be able to control my anger because I respect you.
Before you say I do, please make sure the man in your life respects you. Respect who you are, what you are, and what you represent. If he does not respect you, please, I know, ladies, it's difficult for us to walk away from certain abusive relationships, but a daughter of mine said marriage is seesaw. What you are seeing now, if you don't deal with it, you will saw it.
Yes.
My own English, you will saw it in the future. So if that man is not respecting you, please again, run away. It doesn't matter how many years you have courted. Most of us have received abuse and because we want the marriage. And your parents are putting pressure on you. Your family is putting pressure. You are 40. Your biological clock is ticking. You have to, please. Okay.
What is that things? I prefer you stay single and then be happy with your life than to enter into something that will frustrate you.
So for Rebecca say what backslide you.
Certainty.
Say catch say yentina hosting.
This society think that wadi anabeko heaven. One wadi there is a curse. Maybe I tell you obi anebe wadi. I'm sorry to say this. Read the Bible. Obi ana Jesus ani ade. Let's be. We are believing God. We are praying for breakthroughs, but you still need to understand that there were 10 virgins. 5 were foolish. 5 were wise. So even though we are all in the church believing God, and that is why God does not bless all of us together at the same time. Unless somebody is blessed, tomorrow somebody is blessed. And somebody will remain a servant because a master will need a servant will need a master. If all of us are to become masters, who will become a servant to serve the master?
This is deep.
No, we need to understand. You see, the problem of the church is that our men of God are making us feel that one wadia, there is a curse in your family.
Receive your wedding.
One wadia, there is a curse on you. One wadia will fear the one wadia who told you. Now the one wadia so a journey so a curse better. So let's understand that massa. It's not a mistake. There is a way God works that you will not understand. Obi to me one. Not later when you are there, but the life one will be. Obi should to be quiet one abortion. One will be. Obi should have sex, no husband. It is the ways of God. Don't count and attribute everything to the mistakes of men when God is at work. Until you understand God, you will not understand why God can delay a man.
So much wisdom here today. If only we would listen to what the man of God is saying and we apply it to our lives, I'm sure we'll have less stress. I mean, if somebody maybe came to Believers House of Worship 5 years, marriage didn't come, and it is marriage he or she is looking for. So we'll leave Believers House of Worship and go to Royal House Chapel and is looking for marriage. So
you are very frustrated. The devil will give you a husband after your own heart.
So the permissive will, not the perfect will of God.
And so the marriage, the one and sutro neighbor, and you sutro, missing sutro, and sutro in term the and so you look at the man, you go like, now we're so free. If you cannot wait patiently on the Lord, the devil will provide you with what you are looking for.
Is it because we stay in the abusive relationships? That is why, especially the women, the men take us for granted. Because this person is not respecting me. This person is lying. This person is cheating. And I'm still there. And I'm saying, oh, he will change. When we marry, he will change. And then I'm still waiting. Is that not the reason why they take us for granted? And sometimes they marry us and still go out?
If I'm not treating you right, and I still see you staying with me, then it means that you love me so much that you are afraid to lose me. And when people see that you are afraid to lose them, they tend to misbehave. And that is why sometimes when people are around you, you should not make them feel too important around you. When they feel too important that they are not there, you can't do anything. They start bluffing. They start becoming cocotti, too no pride. So like when I don't come to church, the pastor will come and say, keyboard and one man, one about.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
video now here to Facebook. Why in the bay? Man, yes, sir. Told him so. Mom, you don't have anybody. When people feel too important around you, they abuse you.
Wow.
I'm telling you, they feel too needed that you can't live your life without.
So don't make somebody.
Don't. Let them be as they are. Even though they may be important to you, just look at them, watch them, and let them operate around you as they are. Don't let them feel too important and needed. They will misbehave.
Wow. This is so nice. I mean, the time is just flying, but I am enjoying this. Let's go a bit further.
Yes, ma'am.
You talked about lack of attention.
Every woman wants to be listened to. As a matter of fact, every man also wants to be listened to. If I am talking to you and all you can do is to pay attention to your Facebook and your WhatsApp, your TikTok, and then watching TV, you are insulting me already.
You are insulting me?
Yes. When your husband or your wife does not pay attention to what you want to say, number one, they are trying to tell you that you don't make sense.
So before you say I do, and your man, your woman is always glued to his or her phone, when you are talking to him or her, it's like always his face is in Facebook.
It's already a sign of disrespect. Sorry. They are trying to say that everything you want to say doesn't make sense, so I will not pay attention to you.
Okay.
Even if I'm to pay attention, I'm wasting my time because we know you won't make any sense. And everybody needs somebody who can pay attention to him or her.
So we are talking about before you say I do, but this one you have done. You have done. You are in the marriage, and these things are happening. How do you go about it?
No, so number one, what you do is that if you're already married and then your partner refuses to listen or doesn't want to really pay attention, call their attention. How do you call their attention? Number one, sit him down, sit her down, and address this issue. Talk about it. Let them understand that you don't like the way they are behaving. Whenever you want to have their attention and talk to them, it looks like they are paying. I don't know if they want to be married to their phone. They should go with the phone to the church and do another wedding. So you brought me here to listen to me so that we reason up together, we think together, and put a family together. So why would you want to pay attention to a gadget without talking to me? Call them, sit with them. Number one. Number two, let them understand that you are also human and sometimes you need them. The way sometimes your husband comes home and go like, "Medi anyway."
Now the phone, so.
Now the phone. Medi anyway. Also need baby. You don't understand the value of a man. A man is a king. A man is a lord. The man is the provider. Or the jidins are, but some fools are. And he actually say, "What crowd by I am our attention so beautiful." When women want to talk, whether it is making sense or not, gentlemen, sit with them, pay attention. I remember one day I was studying. I was in my study room, mommy. Many research on something. When I'm testing me, Nana. I just really feel that. Nana, cow. Now it's a quick crowd there. Now be jamming phone. And me couldn't be beautiful. It's like, then no TV. Whoever is on the TV, me. And I am here. Okay, let me go and watch. Then when I got to the room, she was like, "Oh, one man tell me call." Now before the dead, and now we are dead. But I don't say we see there. Yes, some of them will say, "What's up? We are." And I'm saying, "What's the movie way? Guy way. Mami come story in Chiro. What has the movie
got to do with me?
What you want to show me got to do with me?" But I had to be quiet, so I stood. Okay, talk and I'm saying, "Still we." I said, "So I bring me on. Quiet me that." At least I've been able to pay attention. Even though it doesn't concern me, she wants to be
heard.
She wants to be listened to. She wants somebody to pay attention at that time. Listen, if you don't pay attention to your partner, they will put you into detention. Pay attention and you are to go free. Once you listen to a woman, she won't talk.
Before you say I do, get a man, get a woman that pays attention to you. It's very important. I said earlier on, and I'm saying again, what doesn't happen in courtship will not. And she had a problem with her husband, children, and they were in Sweden. But before they went to Sweden, this man was showing some signs. So people talked to them and they came back together again.
Okay.
Then they went to Sweden together. When the lady was in Sweden, the husband came back to Nigeria. They had built a house. The lady heard that the man was selling their house in Nigeria. So she came down, didn't allow the husband to pick her up, asked the brother to pick her up.
right.
The man couldn't sell the house because he got to later know that his name was not on the house. It was only the woman's name.
Yeah.
So he got so angry. When the woman came, the woman should have been wise. You know your husband is abusive. Get a hotel or something. But she and her brother slept in one room. The man came, banged the door. Meanwhile, he had a key. When he got into the room, he went to the generator house, took petrol, poured it in the house, disconnected the water, lit them on fire, locked the door, and he was outside. When the house was burning, then he started shouting, fire, 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 as if he escaped from the fire.
Yeah.
People came, broke the door. The brother was able to come out. He was badly burnt, but he was able to come out, recount his story. But the wife and the sister of the young man was burnt to ashes.
My God.
She saw red flag. She
Anger.
saw anger.
Anger.
But what people would
person
say,
ma wadi ebegu.
me person ma wari ebegu.
person ma wadi
She
ebegu.
was still
What
in the
people will
marriage.
say, I'll feel bad.
She's dead and gone. The brother also died after narrating his story
But
to
the
the
man is
police.
still alive.
The man is still alive.
Yeah, can't about for forever worry, no. And so people should understand that when you are dealing with somebody who has this excessive anger, work out. Don't go like prayer will change people.
So if I'm married to you,
Yeah.
and you have excessive anger, should I divorce you because of excessive anger? Bible didn't say I should divorce on excessive anger. Bible says I should divorce on the grounds of adultery.
So when you are dead, and your ghost will come and do the divorce. So let me explain. When you are dating somebody with an excessive anger, number one, you understand that they will express their anger through, threats.
Yeah.
They go like, "Mbroken, that could be proud. That could be what they are feeder." The first thing you do, pack few of your things and then chase your parents at the village. Look for somebody, go stay there, narrate the story to them and tell them, "This is what my husband keeps saying and I'm afraid." Let elders step in, your pastor, counselors, people step in. Let them try and see if they can address few issues here and there. Then you can go back. Pack your things again. Because you see, gradually, whilst he's confessing negative, and what's are powerful, there are spirits in the air. The more you say something, the more they take it up and they, work towards it. So one day, he will not just come and say it. They want to exercise what they've been saying. So what you do first, separate yourself. Look for a place to go. Please, separation is permitted.
So but does that not make me a bad Christian? Means I'm a warrior.
Even God expects
I'm not a good woman.
Even God expects us to separate ourselves from sin. Separate yourself before you die. Go and look for your mother and father. Tell them what your husband is doing. Because in the bufu and your what is the bad about separating?
Your mother
yourself?
will tell you, me, I have been with your father for so many years. He was cheating.
Yeah.
He was beating me.
Yeah.
But because of you people, I
Old
stayed.
Testament mentality. We are in the New Testament era. Now you need to understand that if me papa bo wasum no asumujia, memories has been updated.
The glory of the latter
I'm
house.
telling you, it shall be greater than the former, mommy. Eti we are bo wasum tree. No what from why are they? But I said, me papa bo wasum bo wan twisikan so. Ebi a wan trete so be ku awo sekan. Abufo ba no to ne nsa ba ako. Abufo ba miku do sinyame adom obekume. Nyame adom a obekuma toma twene sa abo afun.
Oh, kakeke. It's something he's just saying.
Mommy, where's that?
We are Christians.
Mommy,
Vampire, you are not praying.
Even God, Jesus says that I will judge you by your words. You are justified or you are condemned.
Okay.
And even God wants to justify himself and say that that if you speak evil, you'll be judged by the evil.
Wow.
Even God is saying that by words, you'll be justified or you'll be condemned. In other words, by my words, mommy, you can decide to accept me or condemn me.
Yeah.
So, for example, if mommy doesn't know me and I stand here talking to my brother and I start going like, "Hey, Kojo, where Jimmy Papa?" You go like, "Gentleman, I respected you, but I think you're a fool. Don't come here again. No, please get out. I am condemned because of my words.
Yes.
Yet I may be good."
Yeah. Wow. So we are ensnared by the words of our mouth. I'm sure you are enjoying this episode. I am too. I want us to run and go on a quick commercial break. When we come back, we are putting certain questions to him. That's the last lap. please don't go away. I want you to share, invite somebody, let somebody know that Dr. D.Y. Donkor is on the Glam show. And let your questions come. Write your question in the comment section and I'll ask him. Maybe there's something I have not really covered. Please just write it on the comment section and I will ask him for you. I'll see you after the break. Don't go anywhere. We have really enjoyed, for me, myself, I've really enjoyed the program with Reverend D.Y. Donkor. We still want to talk about two of the red flags, and then we'll take his closing remarks and we will wrap up. Man of God, one of the things you said is rudeness, red flags.
Yes, rudeness.
Maybe it's the person's, made. That's how the person was brought up, to be rude. And, that's how the person is. Should that be a red flag?
Yeah, even if you were brought up like that, whilst you are growing, you should change. And when people are rude, they give you cheeky answers.
Yeah.
They give you, from their body language, you will know that they are rude. They are not ready to really pay. Most of the people are rude. They are very selfish.
Rude people are selfish.
Very selfish. They want to be satisfied before they think about you. So even if they are doing something and you want them to pay attention to, they want to finish what they are doing before they pay attention to you. That is rudeness.
Okay. That's also
when you call them
rudeness.
and go like, Kwesi, they go like, that is rudeness.
What if I'm dying?
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about, mommy. So when people are rude, like you said, most of them were born like that. Probably they were brought up like that. Nobody was brought up to be rude.
Maybe that's what he or she saw. You say parents, what we don't.
If
children don't
everything you are
do.
seen by your parents is what you want to practice, you will die. Most of the things you see must serve as an example of change. It must trigger you to change because then it didn't do something good for your parents.
Okay.
So when you are dealing with somebody who's very rude in a relationship, please walk out. Already, even if they offend you, they are not willing to say, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
And that is rudeness. And they know they have offended you. They know what they did is not right. They know, but they are not willing. Until you yourself, you go and go like, if you're not ready to even say sorry, for the sake of the love I have for you, no, that is rudeness. When they cannot swallow their ego and pride
and
to say I'm sorry, that is rudeness.
Sir, I hear men don't say sorry.
You hear?
And the men don't normally say sorry.
Men don't normally say sorry.
They don't say sorry. They, do something.
That is, you see, when you are full of yourself, rudeness, when you are full of yourself with pride and ego, you don't know how to say sorry.
Okay.
A man who respects and honors the wife by respecting the wife, you need to understand that is your half.
Okay.
And when you hurt your wife, you are hurting your half and you are hurting yourself. And imagine your wife hurts you and you expect her to say sorry. Why can't you swallow your pride and ego and say sorry to your wife? Does she not deserve it? Is she not your better wife or half? Why? Why would you want to go like, man, I ain't sorry? Where did you learn it from? That is a sign of pride. And God resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. Please, husbands, learn how to say I'm sorry. Learn it. That is one of the ways to win the heart of a wife.
Also, for that stinginess. Is stinginess a red flag?
Yes. Oh, what's up, man? You are dating somebody who is very stingy. Now, I have said it several times myself that when somebody is dating you, don't expect too much because they are not your father to be providing for you. Nevertheless, you need to understand that once you propose to me, you start a responsibility. And this is how it starts. That from your own willingness, not force. You must learn how to get me few gifts here and there. Just be responsible. I go see, must send it 20 Ghana amount, 10 Ghana amount, must send it airtime amount. You are just showing appreciation, respect and love to me. You understand? But when you are too stingy, like, such a person get married to you, and they will go to the market to do a gadia themselves
and bring
the
it
food
to
and say,
you.
cook and let's eat.
Anyone do.
And I make care because or the man will bring a beard. When you are dating somebody who's very stingy, walk out. About 3 weeks ago, couples came to me from Tema. And actually the lady came and said the love she has for the husband is gone. But before they married, the love wasn't really there. But anytime she threatens the guy and say, Major, the guy will kneel down, beg, cry. Why? The guy was stingy when they were dating. And then, okay, at the point she told that, so I be your husband. Husband, you need to be responsible.
Yes.
Say, Daddy, you worry, cry, they are saying. This guy will not give a day. When he gives money, he after 1 week, he goes like, 1,000 of the money in the year.
Hey.
Yeah, bank accounts.
Wow, so stinginess is a red flag.
So the lady came to me and said, I said, Daddy, the reason we came, we don't need counseling. I've made up my mind. My husband is very stingy. I can't stay with my husband. I said, sister, fuck him. See, once you were dating, you saw it. And then you decided, said a friend told me that most such men, most of the time, when they marry, they change. And they'll become more responsible because now they're, I say, when we got married, mattress that's no. My husband decided to use the old one he slept on like when he was single. When I told my husband to buy new one, my husband told me that yeah, so they are using the old one. So the lady has almost 1 year now, the lady is sleeping on the floor. The guy is sleeping.
Process.
No, ma'am, yes, it's a process though, but you need to understand that once you become born again, you are looking at Jesus, the author and the finisher of your faith. Not me away, intimino, me obia, me sagatarios, so say, zingatarios.
Hey, and also, I can't.
Even the month they are born, some of them can go like, when you are born in the month of August, there are people who even think that if you are Yahoo, you are like this. If you are Kofi, you are like this. The Kwame people, they are like this. Please, when you become a born again Christian, some of these things from where I sit, according to scriptures, doesn't matter again. Please make sure that once you read your Bible, you master the nature and the character of Christ.
Okay. All right. All too soon, we have come to the end of the Glam Show. But before we go, I want you to give us your final words to the ladies out there who are getting ready to say I do. The gentlemen out there who are ready to say I do. We have said so much. And I'm sure that we have covered a whole book today. If we want to put everything into perspective, we'll write a whole book today because we've said so much. And you've said so much. What are your words to somebody watching you? Maybe they are in counseling, but they are not really satisfied with what they are getting. What is your advice to that young man and to that young woman?
Please, work on yourself. Before you say, yes, I do, work on. whether you are already in a relationship or not, please work on yourself, your habits, work on yourself, your character, your attitude. If you don't work on yourself will betray yourself. Work on yourself. Work. Should be a one way you be a way you bar, we a bema. Work on yourself. Tim say we a quick temper, we a liar, a habitual master. You have the key to lie. You can decide to unlock and lock. Master, stop. Work on yourself. Work on yourself until you see that you are well to do before you start this journey called empenaching. Please, if you are not able to work on yourself, don't start, because see, once you start with that bad attitude and character and habit, you are going to frustrate someone's son and someone's daughter, and it will end up that you will also frustrate yourself. There are many of us that goes around to go like, "Emma Papa Bian, remember Papa Bian." The problem is not Omunio, the problem is you. You have not changed. Thank you.
You have not changed.
Yes, mommy.
So you should change your mind, you should change your heart. If you want to go into marriage, please work on yourself. Don't expect too much from anybody. What I'm adding to it, don't expect too much. You give too much. Unrealistic expectations. You should know. And let me, I forgot to ask you this.
Yes, mommy.
If the person is not communicating well, because I believe that communication is the bedrock of every relationship. If the person does not like communication or communicating, you talk and it's like, oh, casadodo, you are not, that person doesn't have time for communication. What do you do?
If you are dealing with somebody who doesn't like communication, you have a problem. The problem you have is that then there's not going to be that bond. See, communication brings a bond.
Yeah.
Brings oneness, unity, understanding. If somebody is not communicating to you, you can never understand them. Wow. So when you are dating somebody and you see that there is misunderstanding, it means that somebody is lacking communication. And there will never be peace. You can never enjoy the journey. Why? Because somebody is not communicating properly.
Before you say I do, work on your communication, because I believe that let's equate marriage to a garden. Water is what makes a garden blossom. In marriage, communication is what...